you are gone. This is not a democracy. This is a full-on YouTube dictatorship on this channel, just to let you know. I will die on this hill. Hey guys, welcome back to the Girl Gone London channel. If you're new here, my name's Kaylin. I'm a dual American and UK citizen, and today I am reacting to some of your comments. So before I jump too far into reading mean comments about myself, but also I've picked out some positive ones this time to balance it out, I would really love and appreciate if you hit subscribe. Most of my viewers on YouTube are actually not subscribed, and I, as a YouTube watcher myself, don't always subscribe to channels, and I won't be offended forever if you don't, but it really does help me out. It's very simple. Just hit the subscribe button under the video, and then you will be notified of future videos I do, which in the case of some of these people commenting, maybe you wouldn't appreciate. So anyway, if you would take a second to hit subscribe, that would help me out so much. We're almost to 12,000, which would be a huge milestone for me to hit. Okay, so on to the video. In this video, I pulled out some comments that I've gotten on recent YouTube videos. And in the past, I've done like a hate comment reacts video, and this will be some of that, but I also pulled out some questions and some positive comments to balance it out. Okay, so the first comment is a positive one. Not sure why, but this has made me feel very proud of this young lady and this island. Too often, we allow ourselves to forget what a wonderful, beautiful island we live on. And if we only would turn away from all the doom and gloom once in a while and look for it, you will find truly amazing things right under your nose. I love this comment. It made me feel so good. Seeing one of our American cousins feel strong enough in her heart to want to call this her second home should be a wake-up call to appreciate what so many others from faraway lands want to be a part of. Let's hope more and more Americans come here. I mean, I've never read a comment like this that's quite so enthusiastic about Americans coming to the UK, but I absolutely appreciate your enthusiasm. United, we have achieved many wondrous things. This is such a feel-good comment. I felt great about myself after reading this, and I want to say thank you for your welcome to the UK. America and the UK should work together. We are cousins. I don't know who decides what like relationship we have now, because I guess really we're like the estranged child, but cousins sounds much nicer. So thank you very much for your comment. Okay, so this next one, I've really hit myself with some positive ones up front so we can like ease our way into this. Okay, so the next comment is also positive because clearly I'm like bracing myself for the blow of what's to come. But Barry says, I love your accent and you speak better and more properly than most, if not all of the people within the comments, of which are negative. Yeah, people who leave negative comments typically have very bad spelling and grammar, all the while criticizing me. That's the joy of the internet. But thank you for saying you like my accent. I don't necessarily think I have that great of an accent. I think it's not grating, but it doesn't sound that good to me either. So I appreciate when people say they like my accent. Here we go. So this is responding to me saying that in the US we have cats mainly as indoor pets, whereas in the UK they have outdoor pets. The reason cats are indoors in Florida is because it's Florida. They can blank their feet up by walking on tarmac/concrete. Actually, I was referring to the US as a whole, and not all of the US is like Florida in terms of the weather, unfortunately. So I'm not entirely sure what you're getting at. It rarely gets like that here. True, it rarely is sunny and hot in the UK, I'll give you that. I assume you are loaded, as there is no conceivable way your husband would still be with you and tolerate all the nonsense you put out. Oh, shots fired. I mean, I make enough money to live and shop at Marks and Spencer's occasionally on a special treat, but mostly I shop at Asda. Regardless of how much money I do or do not make, I just think it's crazy how people would leave a comment like this. Like, who wants to put that negativity out in the world? Who watches a video and is like, you know what? I should comment. Like, I don't care if someone disagrees with me. The part about talking about cats, like, okay, it's a little aggressive, but you can tell me your viewpoint on cats being indoors or outdoors and the reasons. Like, fine, join the conversation. But to be so antagonistic for no reason, it's just weird. Okay, next comment. Adam says, ignore anybody complaining about you complaining. Whining about how blank the UK is, as you know, super British. I appreciate this comment so much because I feel like it is very British to complain about the UK, and I'm one of you now. So if I say anything negative about the UK, I am allowed because I am British. But no, this was just funny because yeah, complaining about me complaining, I guess it's like British Inception, just goes all the way down. Okay, next comment was about my American citizenship test video where I quizzed myself in front of all of you. I seem to remember I passed with 100% passing rate, but people had some comments. So Jean says, where did you go to high school? A suburban high school in Florida. Using elementary school songs to pass this test is difficult to watch. Is it really difficult though? Having some fun answering the question. Is it difficult though? Can you expand on your state/town requirements for high school graduation? You guys. What? Okay. People seem to not understand, and I know that all of you do who are watching because usually the hate patrol doesn't roll in until like later. So if you're watching this when it's initially posted, I know that you get it, but a lot of people don't seem to understand. Number one, YouTube is for entertainment. So sometimes I might do or say things that are more entertaining than the alternate option of just sitting here looking bored answering questions. And also people take things very seriously. So it's just, you don't have to take this channel so seriously. There are a lot of things you should take seriously in the world, and this YouTube channel is not one of them. Sean says, this is in regards to a video I did about mixer taps in the UK. He says, it's true. We've had 2 taps, one hot and one cold. We would fill up the sink to wash our face and hands. Now that I have mixer taps, and they are much better at being quicker and use much less water too. Thank you, Sean, for your positive comments about mixer taps and sharing that with us. You are backing up a hill that I'm willing to die. I will die on this hill in the UK versus US debate because there's a lot of nuance when it comes to how things should be done, what's the best way. Completely appreciate that. I feel like mixer taps are non-negotiable, and I've talked about this before. The old way of doing it in the UK of having separate taps, I understand why this was back in the day. It doesn't need to be a thing anymore. Mixer taps, or for Americans watching a, what would we call it? Like we wouldn't call it like a mixer faucet, but basically mixer taps, meaning that you have one exit path for the water and you can adjust how hot or cold, but it all combines before it comes out onto your hands. That's what mixer taps are. So, which is standard in the US. But yeah, this is just something I feel like you can't. I've had so many people being like, well, it saves water to have to fill up the sink with hot and cold and then like wash your hands or face. You're telling me filling up an entire sink to wash your hands takes less water than using a mixer tap? Even if it did, even if I gave you that, which I won't, you cannot tell me that is an easier way to do it. I'm sorry. Everybody, viva la mixer taps, team mixer taps. I'm gonna have shirts made, you guys. This is gonna be my first merch. Comment below if you want me to make merch about that says viva la mixer taps or something similar. I will not budge on this issue. As Sean points out, mixer taps much better than the separate ones. We're all gonna have to live with it. Okay, next statement from Kevin. Why are you clear? Like, I've had a couple hate comments so far, but I feel like they're all coming because I front loaded this with some love. Kevin says, why are you American girls so much better looking than the British girls and definitely much more articulate and intelligent? Love ya, kissy face. Thank you, Kevin. I don't agree that British girls are not intelligent or articulate or pretty, but I appreciate you lifting me up as an American. So thank you, Kevin. But British girls, you're great and equally amazing. Jeffrey says, have you tried beans on toast with either tomato ketchup or brown sauce? It really gives it a boost. I'm a purist when it comes to beans on toast, so I like toast, butter, and then the beans. I don't typically use ketchup or another type of sauce with it because I feel like the sauce is already in the beans. However, I'm willing to try this, particularly with ketchup. I'm a big ketchup fan. So the next time I try beans on toast, I will try it with ketchup, Jeffrey, and I will report back and let you know what I think. Eat0744 says, the way you talk on this video, you saying you want to give advice to people thinking of coming here, don't waste your breath. Just tell everyone, don't do it. You are so negative. Why on earth are you here? Okay. I appreciate your feedback on my apparent negativity. As I've said in multiple videos and many times before, it's not negativity about the UK. It's a channel where I'm being honest about my perception of the differences between both countries. Both the UK and the US have a lot of problems, and both the UK and the US have a lot of things that are really amazing and worth shouting out to the world. So by me sharing some things that are negative about the UK, or maybe that Americans come to expect that isn't necessarily true, is not me being negative and saying don't come here. In fact, please, all Americans out there reading this, please do come here, because I need someone to send me and bring me some Girl Scout cookies coming up next month. And it's always great to have people who live here who understand the different pros and cons that come along with being an expat. So Pete, I will say my official response is please do it. Everybody thinking of moving to the UK, please come. Please do it. Okay, so then people start responding to each other. So somebody says, Tanyano, Tanyano 9 or Tanyano 9 says, screw the haters. I agree with that. Then Barry says, I agree 100%. If you are British like I am, do not find them so embarrassing. Yes, it is embarrassing to leave mean comments on the internet. Thank you, Barry. And he responds, yes, but if you hate this channel, then why would you watch it? Thank you. There are some odd folks around. Yes, I appreciate both of your support and confusion over people who are leaving these types of comments. I wish that it were not a regular occurrence, but I scroll through the YouTube comments and am bombarded with them. So just because you don't see them all the time in the YouTube algorithm of the comments, a lot of them I go in and get rid of because we do not need that negativity here. You are welcome if you're going to comment something constructive or funny or disagree with me, but in a way that's not entirely condescending. Otherwise, I'm a dictator on this channel. This is my channel and you are on it, and this is my comment section and you are on it. So if you do something or leave something that is incredibly rude or incredibly hateful towards me or somebody else, you are gone. This is not a democracy. This is a full-on YouTube dictatorship on this channel, just to let you know. So Nick is responding to something about torches versus flashlights. So in the US, we call them flashlights. In the UK, they call them torches. And he says, torches do not flash. They produce a steady light. So calling them flashlights is inaccurate. I thought about this one to see if I could think of a rebuttal, but I think I agree. However, when Americans think of torch, I think of an actual flaming torch, but it does give a steady light. I think we're on the same page here. I still call them flashlights because that's what I grew up calling it, but I appreciate your views on the use of this word, and probably flashlight is not entirely accurate. However, he goes on to say, in the UK, we pronounce schedule as schedule, not schedule. Oh, Nick, I know you do. Not you, maybe you don't, but it drives me up the wall. Schedule instead of schedule. It seems like such an unnatural way of saying schedule. I'm not a fan of it when it comes to listening to someone say schedule. I don't even know if I'm saying it right now. And I feel like it does drop the C a little bit. So I feel like schedule is actually how it's written, and schedule, it just seems a little strange. But I'm going to do more research and figure out where that came from, because some people here do say schedule. Maybe it's a class thing, maybe it's a regional thing. Comment below if you know more about schedule versus schedule. Which one do you say? If you say schedule, we can still be friends. So Alex says, so this is also about the American citizenship test I took. He says, I'm impressed by your knowledge on the test. I too got many of them right, as I'm so old I was almost around at the time. By the way, enjoyed your singing voice. Next step, American Idol. I've gotten this comment a couple of times because I may have sung the national anthem on a live stream a while back. By the way, if you want to join us on live streams now, we're doing it on Patreon Thursday nights at 8. It's only £5 per month in order to be a part of that community. So I'll leave the link below. That's happening tonight at 8. But multiple people have commented on my singing voice. Some people more realistically saying I'm not the worst they've ever heard, but some people have left positive comments about my singing voice, which is pretty objectively terrible. So I just wanted to say thank you, Alex, for that positive comment. Probably American Idol is not on the cards, but maybe I'll do some more singing on YouTube. Dave says, I can't imagine a less British thing than a citizenship ceremony to become one of us. Just buy a beer and then get on with it. Dave, that is 100% how I feel like most British people would deal with that. And I've gotten multiple comments like this saying like, it's weird that the UK has an entire ceremony to become a citizen. Like, who do they think they are, America, in terms of like the pomp and circumstance? So that just made me laugh. Dave's observation that, yeah, it's definitely not British to like create an event over something. The next comment. Oh, here we go, you guys. Okay. The next comment is from Michael Berry. And by the way, in previous videos, I haven't put up next to the comments who said them, or at least, you know, I don't know. A lot of these are like YouTube handles, so, but Michael Berry says his name is Michael Berry. And I thought, you know what? If you're willing to leave a comment on a YouTube video, then I feel like you have now put yourself in a situation where I can use your entire comment and your YouTube handle in my video. So Michael Berry says, unbelievable arrogance. That sums up Americans in 2 words. But this is in response to a video that I did with Emily on reacting to or asking her questions about like the NHS and taxes in the UK versus the US. And at one point, I asked her, what are the 4 countries? I know apparently Northern Ireland is not a country, but some people say it is. That's a whole nother video. I said, what are the 4 countries in the UK? And I think she came up with most of them, but maybe was like missing one. And then I made a joke about how British people probably couldn't name the American states. This was in a lighthearted, again, stop taking this channel so seriously. It was in a lighthearted way. Clearly naming all 50 American states is far different than 4 UK countries. And perhaps in that moment, I was just making light of American ignorance of the UK countries, wasn't actually like issuing a challenge that everybody actually needed to keep them up at night, but some people took it that way. So he says, unbelievable arrogance. I bet you British people couldn't name the American states, quoting me. WTH, so wrong. Unlike the US school system, which can't even spell geography, never mind teach it. Do you know what? I looked up whether we spell, clearly this went way over my head because I was like, do we spell geography differently? I'm pretty sure we don't. Had to look it up. I think he just means Americans can't spell in general. I thought I was about to learn something new, but I didn't. He says, the British/Commonwealth schools do teach geography, capital G, including the USA and its states. Lots of us can not only name all the states, but their capitals and nicknames as well. Really? A lot of you can name all 50 states and the capitals and nicknames. Okay, more power to you, but you only have 4 political entities in the UK and you often/usually get them wrong. True. Again, this was not like an actual throwdown challenge. It's okay. Everybody take a deep breath. Take a deep breath all together. Next comment. Oh, okay. So, in my American citizenship video, I may have suggested/said that the Civil War was in the 1840s. But I think even then, I was a little bit unsure. The Civil War was in the 1860s, and if you were like, actually, if I was on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, I would have gotten it right. But I was doing a YouTube video where I was trying to answer questions and talk through it all at the same time. So I didn't necessarily give my best guess for every single thing, though I still got all the questions right. So I misspoke/potentially didn't think it through entirely. And I said, the Civil War, I think, was around the 1840s. It's around the 1860s, so I was about 20 years off. But people were up in arms, like the South was back in the day and today. So somebody said, she said the Civil War was in the 1840s, LOL. I mean, okay, that's like fine. I can laugh at myself. That's why I'm on YouTube. If you can't laugh at yourself, you should not be on YouTube. And then Karen responds, I know, I swear, off by 20 freaking years. And then the other person responds, kind of crazy. I just love this discussion about how I was 20 years off on the Civil War in the comments. And multiple people, I think it was actually just, oh yeah, somebody else, I'll put this comment up now, we'll scroll to it. Charlie says, geez, you lot really are bad at history, even though I got all the questions right. And then Karen says, I want to slap her high school history teacher. And I got this comment multiple times, kind of from the same people through this video. And I'm about to, like, I can laugh at myself looking dumb, getting questions wrong. I say in the video, I'm about to make myself look dumb. I don't actually care what people are saying about the fact that I got the Civil War wrong by 20 years in my video. That's not the point. The point here is, as a general, just like way of life, I hate the gatekeeping that people do with, you can only be intelligent if XYZ. So people who are history buffs will be like, what? You didn't know that the Civil War was in the 1860s and not the 1840s? Oh my, like, you are clearly the dumbest person on the planet. Or people who are good at math will be like, wow, you can't do, I'm terrible at math, but whatever the math words are. Everybody is different when it comes to what they are good at remembering, what sticks with them. Maybe they're really good and skilled with their hands and building things, but when it comes to answering multiple choice questions on history, not really their thing. It's just like, do you have nothing better in your life than to worry about stuff like that? Oh my God. It's gonna be fine. And the same thing, if you correct people's grammar, you're annoying. Like, I don't know how I got into this, but seriously, you're annoying. It's okay. If somebody gets a word wrong or says something wrong, or actually wrong is probably the wrong word to use there. If someone says something incorrectly, it's gonna be fine. You are the annoying one. People who are like, I should probably stop this rant now because I'm getting, it just annoys me so much. Okay, so Daniel responded. So in my video where I was like, British people probably couldn't name the US states, he starts naming them. Texas, Georgia, Florida, California, Illinois, Ohio, and Alaska. Very impressive, I would say. A little confused how you know Illinois. Texas, Florida, California, Alaska tend to be ones that people know more. But Illinois and Ohio, Daniel, that's impressive, the fact that you knew those. So the last one that we will talk about is BJ, and they write 2 comments. First, please start waving your hands and arms around. It's very distracting. I've gotten this in a couple videos, but I'm not going to change the way I talk, so don't watch. Second, please plan better what you're going to say. You tend to ramble and your thoughts go back and forth. That is true on a lot of my videos. Then he says, or she says, if you are more concise, your videos would be easier to watch. Okay, BJ, I am sorry that my videos are hard to watch. I appreciate what maybe was attempting to be constructive criticism, but kind of just turned into telling me what to do. If you're not enjoying the video, I would say definitely just like turn it off and watch something else. There are a lot of YouTube channels that have higher production values, less arm waving than this one. So this might not be the right fit for you. But if you email into me, I can give you some suggestions of ones that you might prefer. Okay, so this brings me to the end of my video on reading and reacting to some of your comments. Sometimes I just have to do this to get things off my chest because it can be very lonely just sitting here scrolling through YouTube comments. A lot of them not necessarily saying the most positive things. Like I said, I have the ego of an American. I think somebody said something unbelievable arrogance. I am not necessarily taking these things to heart, so please don't feel like you have to say like, oh, you're awesome. Don't worry about these people. Like, I know not to worry about people in general on the internet, but it's just nice to have a release every once in a while and show you guys some of the things that I'm seeing in my comments section. So that is the end of the video. Again, if you would like to join us tonight, if you're watching this on the day of posting, Thursday, January 13th, I'm going live at 8 p.m. tonight for my Patreon patrons and Patreon fans. So I'll have a link to that in the description. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.